a passion for ethical fashion. I hate that that rhymes, but there you go. And I'm really excited to talk to you guys today about how you can start on your own journey towards curating a sustainable wardrobe. So I'm willing to bet that one of the first things you did today was go to your closet and decide what to wear. And judging by everyone here, I think I'm too far off. So I want you to take a moment to think back to what that was like this morning. Was it a pleasant experience to decide what to wear? Or was it stressful? Did you find it easy to put an outfit together? Or were there racks of clothes to sort through, and you still felt like you had nothing to wear? If that last one is you, you're not alone. Most women only wear about 20 to 30% of their closets, and they only like about 10%. Fashion today looks a lot different than it used to. We're more unsatisfied with our clothes in our closets than we ever have been before. And not only that, but the fashion industry is having a devastating impact on people and the planet. But there's a better way to do fashion. And there's a way that you can curate a closet that not only serves you better, but also has a more positive impact on the world that we live in. So today I'm going to share with you how I came to reflect on and change my relationship with clothing, and how today you can start on your journey towards a more sustainable wardrobe. When I was a teenager, I used to be a huge shopper. I loved going to the mall, and there was nothing better than walking into an H&M or a Forever 21 and feeling like the whole store was mine for the taking. Because everything was trendy and stylish, but also affordable. I remember sometimes my mom would come with me, and she would hold up some of the garments that I was looking at and say, you know, when I was your age, I would have had to have paid a lot more for this item of clothing. And at the time, I didn't really ask myself why that was. I just thought it was fantastic that society had gotten to a place where we could buy clothing for so much cheaper. But I never asked myself why when the price of houses and cars and food and your morning latte went up in price, while clothes actually went down in price. As I got older though, I started to do my own research, because no matter how many more clothes I bought, I was never happy and I never felt like I really liked. And I started to ask myself why the price of clothes had gone down, because that didn't seem to make any sense. So after doing my own research, I learned that the cause is due to a recent phenomenon called fast fashion. And fast fashion is a bit of a buzzword today, I'm sure you've heard it before. But for those of you who don't know what it is, I'd like you to think about what words come to mind when I say fast food. For me, it's affordable, convenient, delicious, but bad for you. And fast fashion is essentially the clothing equivalent. It's mass market retailers producing a high volume of clothing at breakneck speed, taking style seen on the catwalk and sending it onto shelves within a matter of weeks, and pricing it at a deceptively low cost. And I say deceptively low because someone somewhere is paying. Behind that $5 price tag or that $20 price tag, there is a much higher cost. And not only that, but fast fashion has really trapped us into a mindset of always needing more, of seeing clothes as being disposable, but it's never enough. Globally today, we consume 400% more clothing than we did 30 years ago. 400% more. And yet 30 years ago, all of us still had clothes. We were all still dressed. But today, we only wear 20 to 30% of our wardrobe. And it's no wonder that we never feel like we have enough. Because a few decades ago, the fashion industry had two main seasons. They had a spring-summer collection and a fall-winter collection. But today, it says that the fashion industry has 52 seasons, because they're releasing a new collection of clothing every single week. In In an interview with the CEO of H&M, he proudly shares that you can walk into an H&M one week and buy something, and the next week come back and see an entirely new collection out on the floor. So it's no wonder that once we bought something, immediately we feel like it's out of season, out of style, and outdated. Fast fashion isn't working for us, it's only working for the brands that are selling it. So how do we get out of this mindset? How do we ensure that we're no longer blinded by low prices and we make purchases that we regret? How do we start making better choices that benefit us and our world? What we need is to start looking at fashion differently. We need a different mindset. And in order to have a different mindset, we need to stop seeing just that low price tag and understand what the true cost is behind it. And so I'm going to break down what that true cost is for you. The first part of that higher cost is an extremely high human cost. I want to paint a picture for you right now that is all too common in the fashion industry today. I want you to imagine a small child. She's sitting on the floor, bathed in the fluorescent light, and she's by her mother's feet. And her mother is next to her, bent over a sewing machine. Every day, sewing clothes for thousands of people that she'll never meet, and the labels will never bear her name. The air is thick with toxic chemicals, but they're used to breathing them by now, because the mother has to bring her child with her to the garment factory for a few days a week. They had to move from their village miles away to work at this garment factory, and she has no one to take care of her child, and she can't afford childcare. The factory is hot, and they've already been there for 3 hours, but they have at least another 7 to 13 hours to go, because they have extremely high daily quotas to meet. And if they don't meet those quotas, they risk having the fire exits locked, the doors locked until they meet them. Their salaries withheld, a meager salary because the mom only makes about $3 a day. And all of that will go towards feeding her child at the end of the day. And this picture, while horrifying, is the daily reality for millions of garment workers. It's said that 1 in 100 people work in the garment industry today. Some people even make that as high as 1 in 6, depending on who you ask. But this is a feminist issue as well. We're all here today because we want to empower women. But 85% of garment workers are women. There are plenty of t-shirts out there that you can buy with a feminist slogan on them, but they may have been made by this woman from that garment factory. We cannot empower women in one country while oppressing them in another. How did we get here? It's because we are now witnessing a global race to the bottom, where suppliers so want brands to work with them that they'll do whatever they can to keep costs low. Factory owners will slash wages. They'll skip out on life-saving building improvements, like fire safety and making sure that the building is structurally sound, as we saw in 2013 with the Dhaka factory collapse in Rana Plaza, Bangladesh, where 1,138 people were killed. Despite having seen cracks in the building the day before, they were still forced to go to work the next day, while management stayed out of the building. We need to understand the true cost behind our clothing, because the price of human life is much higher than what we're paying for our jeans and our t-shirts and our shoes. Beyond the human cost, there's also an environmental cost, which ultimately trickles down to us and it becomes a human as well. The fashion industry is one of the most polluting industries in the world today. One of the, the textile dyeing industry is the second highest polluter of water behind the agriculture industry. We consume lots of water with our fashion. The polyester in our clothes when we wash it sends plastic into our oceans. And in a world today where fresh drinking water is so inaccessible to so many people, why do we turn a blind eye to the fact that every year the fashion industry consumes enough water to fill 32 million Olympic swimming pools? The amount of water used to create your cotton t-shirt is 2,500 liters. And for your pair of jeans, it's the amount of water that you could drink in 5 to 6 years, just for one pair of jeans. And not only that, but there's also an incredible amount of landfill waste because we've been trained to see clothing as disposable. So picture this. Every year the fashion industry produces 100 million garments, or 100 billion garments every year. 100 billion new garments. Zara alone produces 1 million every day. So by the time you go to sleep tonight, Zara will have 1 million new garments produced in its Spanish headquarters. And that's just them. But then on average, 3 out of every 4 items of clothing will end up in a landfill or incinerated. So 100 billion new garments a year, and 3 out of 4 items of clothing end up in a landfill or incinerated. Here in North America alone, we send over 13 million tons of textiles to landfills. And it doesn't just do nothing, because as clothing in landfills decomposes, it produces greenhouse gases and sends them into the environment. And it takes some clothing items over 200 years to start decomposing because they're made with artificial fibers and plastics. So we have to consider the environmental cost as well. I know that this is all really heavy. This is all hard stuff to listen to. But the reason that I'm here today isn't to shame you or make you feel bad for having bought fast fashion. You're not a monster for having bought fast fashion. But I'm here to tell you that there is hope and there's a better way. Because brands need to sell clothes. So that puts us as consumers in prime position to send a message of what we will and will not put up with. Right now, we're witnessing a movement of millions of people who are realizing that fast fashion isn't working for them, and it's not working for the planet. And there's a movement going on called slow fashion. And it's exactly how it sounds. It's a return to doing fashion more thoughtfully and slowly, producing clothing in smaller batches, making sure that garment workers are paid for what their work is worth, making sure that we're minimizing the negative impact on the environment. If you were to do a hashtag search on Instagram today for ethical fashion or sustainable fashion or slow fashion, you'll get millions of hits. And as an Instagrammer, every day I'm seeing new accounts being created of people who want to document their slow fashion journey. This isn't just a niche thing anymore. It's becoming more and more widely recognized as the best way to do fashion. And I want to let you guys in on how you can join the movement. So I'm going to give you a toolkit. I'm going to give you 3 ways that today you can start curating a closet. A sustainable wardrobe that works better for you, minimizes your negative impact on the world, and maximizes your positive impact. And so the first way that you can start doing that, it's not very exciting, but it's to buy less, and it's to take better care of what you already have. Because brands rely on us buying more. But if you, instead, were to curate a closet that has a limited number of pieces that you truly, truly love and take care of, that's made with good quality materials, and that will be forever favorites for you, imagine how much easier getting dressed in them. And imagine how good it would feel to know that the clothes that you're wearing aren't harming people out there. So in order to start buying less, what we need to do is get in tune with our style and what we want our closets to look like. I'm not going to give you a workshop on how to discover your personal style because there's lots of resources out there like that. But I want to challenge you. I want to challenge you to start to get in tune with what you love to wear. It feels good. Because if you can have an idea of what you want your wardrobe to look like, you're less likely to be swayed by what you see in those fast fashion stores. You're less likely to make those impulse purchases that you regret. I remember the first time I did my first serious closet work a few years ago. I was left with like 1 pair of jeans, 1 sweater. There wasn't a whole lot less, but everything that I kept, I truly, truly loved and it felt like me. And I kept the pieces that I knew were made well in the past. And I had never and I was way less tempted to go out and continuously order more. And honestly, people don't notice when you repeat outfits. There are very few people out there who are that perceptive. And so the other part of this is to take better care of what you buy. Years ago, fashion was more valuable because most of it was produced in a country that was sold in. They had to abide by labor laws. So in 1966, that's when things started to change. But up until then, 90% of clothing sold in America was still made in America. So that meant paying people a minimum wage. That meant abiding by labor laws. And so fashion was more expensive. And believe it or not, the average consumer wouldn't buy something if they knew it was poor quality. So they were willing to spend more money on their clothes, and if they couldn't, they would make it themselves. If something ripped, they would do it. If it needed alterations, they would alter it. But today, with clothing being so cheap and disposable, if it rips, we throw it away. If we need it altered, we throw it away and we buy something new. So I want to challenge you to also think about taking better care of the clothes that you already have. I promise that going to a tailor isn't scary. Maybe it's because I grew up in a generation that makes disposable about fashion, but going to the tailor seems weird and seen as the most sustainable way to start bringing new items of clothing into your wardrobe. And you don't have to sacrifice style either. Because Calgary has over 20 consignment stores, and each boutique offers something different. They've got consignment stores that are more high-end brands. They've got more low to mid-range brands. There's plus-size fashion, there's kids fashion, there's men's fashion. And if the idea of walking into a brick-and-mortar thrift store or consignment store freaks you out a little bit, there's also online options. More and more people are making a business of doing the hard work for you, of combing through all the racks of thrift stores and putting the best finds online. So it's as easy as online shopping to shop secondhand. Just extend, if you were to buy a piece of secondhand clothing and extend its life by 1 year, you could already reduce its emissions by 24%. If you kept all the clothes in your closet an extra year than you might have otherwise, you could reduce your emissions by 24% for that year. Which is amazing considering that most items are only worn 7 times before they're disposed of. So when you buy secondhand, you're extending the lifespan of clothing that otherwise would have ended up in the landfill. Because only 10% of clothing that's donated actually gets sold. There's a myth out there that for every piece of clothing you donate, there's a needy person in there. But the truth is that thrift stores have more clothes than they know what to do with. They end up sending it off to countries in Africa where they try to resell it. But even they don't want our clothes. There's still too much for them, and it's hurting their textile industry. So they end up putting it in their landfills. So you can help rescue clothes and give them a longer, better life by shopping secondhand. About half of my wardrobe now is secondhand, and I hope that that number goes up. Because with secondhand and vintage clothes, there's so much to choose from. There's so many garments already in the world today. Beautiful ones that are still in wearable condition. So I challenge you, even if you just look in a secondhand store for the first time, this is a place that you can start creating. And lastly, the third way that you can start creating a sustainable wardrobe is to support ethical brands. And ethical means something a little bit different to everyone. You may have to find your own definition of that. But for me, it's a brand that places the well-being of its brand workers as a top priority, and they make all of their business decisions out of that priority. I believe that ethical brands set the standard of what all fashion brands can and should aspire to be. I want to give you an example of one of my favorite brands. This isn't sponsored or anything, but they're just fantastic, and they're doing really good work. They're called Alena Denim. And they are a denim manufacturer who, instead of cutting corners wherever they can, and then marketing themselves as a high-end brand, instead they employ victims of human trafficking and women at risk of human trafficking in Cambodia. Not only do they give them a clean and bright and safe factory to work in, they pay them a living wage, they offer them English classes, they give them workplace benefits, they offer them life skills classes like budgeting. And once the women move on to other things, other brands want to snatch them up because they know the quality of work that they do over at Alena. They're given the dignity of knowing the entire process of denim creation. Because in most denim factories, you're going to do the same menial, repetitive task over and over again, like sewing on buttons. But at Alena, they get to hone their skills in a variety of areas of denim creation. And their factory is also very clean. They recycle their water. They use certified organic cotton. Now you might think the price of these jeans would end up being astronomical, but they cost $200 Canadian. And when you consider that this is a high-quality denim brand comparable to Citizens of Humanity and G. Meghan Markle was actually just seen wearing a pair of Alena denim. But Citizens of Humanity and G brands have much higher markups, and they're not doing the same kind of work. So where would you rather put your money? Ethical fashion is what clothes really should cost. Clothes should cost enough that we have to stop and think about our purchase before we make it. It should be something valuable, or else we're going to continue to dispose of it and make purchases that we end up regretting. And there are so many options for ethical brands out there today. When I first started on my journey, I thought that maybe there's just a few and it was still a very small niche thing. They were hard to find. But this past summer, I decided to start putting together a directory on my blog of ethical brands. And I ended up having to cap the list at 200 before I published it, because there were still so many more to add and I just needed to get it out there. And there are brands for swimwear, activewear, loungewear, menswear, kidswear, creative fashion, minimalist fashion, anything you can think of is out there. But we have to change our thinking a little bit more about what clothes should cost. Because you might not be able to afford ethical fashion the same way that you could afford a sweater at H&M. But that sweater at H&M, as we know now, that cost is not what it really costs. And ethical fashion is helping to minimize the negative impact on the planet and maximize the positive. And if you keep it for longer, if you take care of it, and if it's one of those pieces that you really love, you're going to get your money's worth out of it. I want to introduce you to something called cost per wear. Let's see if I can remember the math here. If I get it wrong, hopefully you'll understand the gist. But let's say you bought a pair of $30 jeans at Zara, and you ended up wearing that pair of jeans 7 times before you decided to get rid of it. 7 times, which is the average amount of times a piece of clothing is worn before it's disposed. That pair of jeans would end up costing you $4.20 per wear. Now imagine you bought a pair of $200 outdoor denim jeans, and you ended up wearing them 150 times because they were one of your few pairs of jeans and you kept them for years. It ended up only costing you a little over $1. And so in the end, you're actually saving money when you shift your mindset and start buying fewer but better quality clothing. So, where do we go from here? As I said, I know a lot of this is overwhelming, and it can be a lot to shift your mindset in one day. But the reason that I am so passionate about this is because I truly believe that us as consumers have a lot of power. Each time we make a purchase, our dollars are a vote for the kind of world that we want to live in. And I believe that as the money moves, the industry will follow. Not all of us can do everything, and I don't want you to feel like the whole world is on your shoulders. But all of us, in our little daily decisions, can do something. Maybe that's walking into a consignment store for the first time. Maybe that's saving up to buy one envelope piece this year. Maybe it's going through your closet and rediscovering the joy in it, and finding those pieces that you truly love, and then buying less. All of us can do something. And look, fashion may not be your thing. I get it. For some of us, clothes are more practical. But the fashion industry today is so huge, it touches on so many issues. So if you care about women's empowerment, gender equality, poverty alleviation, the environment, human rights, animal rights, human trafficking, child labor, if you care about any of those, I challenge you to look no further than the clothes that you're wearing. Because by changing the way that we shop, we can have an impact on all of those different areas of issues in the world too. And so, if just by changing a few simple shopping habits, you can help ensure a brighter future for our planet. If you could help lift a woman and her family out of poverty, and if you could discover a closet that works better for you and that you love, isn't that a closet worth curating? Thank you.
Thank you so much for your lovely talk. I hope you guys are going to really think about your wardrobes going forward. If you want to sign up for some of the speaking notes, you can definitely do that right over there. Alena's on Instagram. What's your Instagram? Pull out your phone so you can follow her right now. What's your Instagram
I found it
now?
on the sheet there. It's Ali C. Tran.
Ali C. Tran. Yeah, so make sure you follow her. She has amazing posts all the time. And then also, she did this for free, so thank you very much. If you want to just make a donation to the mustard seed, you got some really amazing information from her, please do so. You can do that here, or you can do that in the front. And we have other amazing vendors. We have Good and Wild, who does sustainable fashion, and Future Clothing, who also makes her jewelry here, and obviously Allure Boutique right here, which is my business. But yeah, you guys shop. If you have any questions, we have some time for Q&A, right? So who has questions? I'm gonna give it like a minute.
I can also stick around and we can chat one-on-one as well if you prefer. That's not scary.
Oh, you have a question?
I guess like I've been following you for a while, but I've also been in the know of the slow fashion movement for the past year or so. But I think I'm at this point where I just finished college, and it's obviously like a huge investment to revamp your entire closet. And I have in my closet like a third of it is just pushed to the side, and I'm trying to sell it. I donate lots. I do try to do that as much as I can, but I've invested into these clothes, and now I'm at a point where I'm like, okay, I don't want to just donate all of them, although I know it's going to a good cause, but I need to like support myself too. So I think, I don't know, like what do you suggest doing? I want to get rid of these clothes. I know I don't wear them, I know I don't need them, but I can't really afford to just give them away, even though they're just sitting there. I don't know why, in my mind I was just like, I can't.
Honestly, I don't think there's anything wrong with bringing them to the consignment store or even selling them on Kijiji, because that actually might be a more sustainable way than even donating it. Because as I said, donating it to a thrift store, they've already got so many clothes, they don't need more. But if you give it to a thrift store or if you sell it directly on Kijiji, it's more likely to be sold to somebody who wants it. Because in a thrift store, it'll sit on the shelves for a certain number of weeks and then they just get rid of it. So at least if you're doing it that way, you can kind of see who's buying it, you can get some money out for yourself. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that idea. Yeah. Does that answer your question?
Also, clothing bars are good for consignment and for exchange.
Allure is, I spend too much money.
Yeah, they can always take your clothes there. Any other questions?
You have a question, Anna?
Just on the heels of your response, it actually made me think of when I was thinking about the other day. And this may be like, maybe stretching, the time spent on what types of research, but what is your opinion on donating clothes to like those open bins for different agencies? Does that fall along the same lines that it has the issues with the thrift store? And you can see that, like, I would pull in part of one of these bins, and you can, like, there's clothes outside because you can't put them inside anymore. But it's a convenient way of ethically disposing of unwanted clothes. So, I don't know, I'm just, I guess, looking for your encouragement to really seek ways of doing that or not.
So generally what I use those clothing bins for is if I've got like something that's like really unwearable, like it's really ripped or really stained or something, because they also will sort through and recycle them as well. So I think that generally if you're going to be donating clothing, I think that's okay. If it's still in wearable condition, I would, there's nothing wrong with consigning it if you're trying to sell it yourself. I generally save those bins because they do overflow just for those pieces that are really, really unwearable and I know that I can sell it. A note on recycling clothes though is that I wouldn't be too liberal with like, you know how H&M has that recycling program where you bring it back and they'll give you like a $5 coupon or something. It looks great on the outside, but they can't actually recycle that many clothing. Only 1% of clothes that are put into those recycling programs can actually be recycled, just because we don't have the technology today to break down fiber blends back into their original state. So while I think that if it's an extreme case, it's way better to try to recycle it than throwing it in the garbage, but don't be too liberal with how much you try to recycle it, because that technology just doesn't really exist yet. Does that answer your question?
When you're shopping, what are some like fabrics to stay away from at all costs?
That is a very good question. I would generally try to avoid polyester because again, that puts a lot of plastics into our ocean when we wash it. If you do have polyester clothing, you can still wash it, but actually what you can do, they've got these things called guppy bags now that you can, and it's like a very fine mesh bag, and so you can wash your clothes in that, and that keeps it from going into the drainage system. So fiber blends to avoid, I would try, instead of thinking about what to avoid, I would maybe think about what to go for and try to focus on natural fiber blends. Some more sustainable ones are linen. Hemp is being recognized as a very sustainable fiber. Wool is pretty good. Organic cotton uses a lot less water and pesticides than conventional cotton. Sorry for another depressing fact, but the average lifespan of a cotton farmer in India is only to his mid-30s because of the amount of pesticide-related, chemical-related deaths from the pesticides that they put on their cotton. So try to go for organic cotton if you can. But again, every fiber blend out there has its own devices. So even though there are some that are better than others, and I definitely suggest going for that, try to buy mostly secondhand clothing because there's already enough clothes in the world for us. If you do need something new, which we all will at times, try to go for those natural, less impactful fiber blends. But generally, I would say look first at secondhand clothing.
It's just out of curiosity, because just like following all these bloggers and some shop at Queen, some don't. You, for example, like, I assume you do sponsor work through your blog and Instagram and whatnot. How do you like limit that? And how do you control that so you're not getting sent all these clothes that you don't need, or do you send them back after you promote them? How do you do that?
That is a really good question, and that's something that I think a lot of us as influencers are at the point where that's at the front of our minds, because we all kind of ended up here when we see this happening. I don't get sent too much, but generally I try to, they'll often give you a choice of what you want. So I'll usually only try to get those pieces that I believe fill a gap in my wardrobe. If they're offering me something that I already have something similar of, I'll tell them no, because I know that it won't be used. If I do make an exception and I get something, then I may consign one of my other pieces. It's a really tricky one, and it's something that a lot of us are still wrestling with, so I don't have a great answer for you yet, but it's something that I'm trying to work on. Like I said, I do try to be thoughtful and intentional about which pieces I do accept and which ones I won't accept. And I have sent things back in the past after I've shopped with it. So.
Any other questions? Yes.
Do you have any idea on like any ethical shoe brands?
Also, if you go to my blog and go to my ethical brand directory, there's lots of shoe brands on there. Great Canadian ethical shoe brand is Poppy Barley. They're really, really good. They're actually based out of Edmonton, so if you're ever up in Edmonton, you can actually go see they've got a brick and mortar store there, try on their shoes. Let me think. I'm trying to think if there's not a, Canada needs to step up. There's not a ton of ethical brands out there in Canada right now. What kind of shoes are you looking for? Because there's so many, they each have a different kind.
It's much easier to get clothing, but shoes, you want to get good quality shoes that last.
There's a lot out there actually. There's more than you might think. It's tough for me to recall all of them off the top of my head, but definitely check out the ethical brand directory. Everlane, I actually really like the quality of their shoes. Have you guys heard of Everlane? They're a really good sustainable brand, and these shoes are from Everlane. All the shoes that I've tried from Everlane I found very comfy and well made, and they're not. Oh, her brand. I just remembered before I forget, Miss Solo is a really good brand. They are an American shoe brand, and the founder of Miss Solo has an amazing TED Talk on sustainable fashion, but they do things in a very ethical way, the way that they support their garment workers, and they have some more earth-friendly ways of using leather and tanning. So yeah, they're a really good brand to check out as well.
I can take one more. Oh, perfect.
So how do I find you lost?
How does he find your blog? I was really scared my dad was about to heckle me here. It is alectran.com, nice and easy. alectran.com. And then we've got everything on there.
That's where the ethical directory is?
That is where the ethical directory is. If you sign up on the email list, I will send you links to apps and other blogs that are great to get you started. I'll send you to my ethical brand directory, some other good Instagrams to follow. I was going to have a handout with all of that, but I thought let's keep the trees, and so you guys can just sign up there and I'll send out some emails to you.
Thank you so much. Thank you guys for coming. Let's give her a round of applause. Awesome. So are you going to stick around if anybody has any personal questions they want to ask? So thanks so much for coming. Remember to support the local vendors, and I'll